Bitcoin is trading at $83,700. Is this potentially the start of bullish continuation, or was it just a dead cat bounce? And are we still heading into bear market territory? That is the question today, and I want to share with you in this video what my thoughts are. So it is a Wednesday. I wanted to make this video on Monday, but regardless, we're here today. The weekly close last week, they managed to save the weekly. As you can see here, this is the 50-week moving average. It's super important because for me, this is the indicator that separates bear and bull market. As long as we're above it on the weekly, you can see it held as support basically since 2023. So for the last 2 years, this has acted as our high time frame support. As long as the price was above, it retested it a couple times, yes, but every time it bounced. And so far, it has still held once again. Last week, we actually dipped below it intra-week, but that's fine. The rule is a weekly close above or below helps signal trend reversal. Okay, so we didn't get the close below. It was actually below $75,000 last week. They pushed it up at the end of the close. The close was green, and we closed around 83,000, this current level where we are right now. Now, if you look on the daily also, I can zoom in there in a second, but that was a bullish divergence going into this. So we have nice support, and there are technical reasons here for a bounce. But it is still starting to fizzle out a little bit, and we are far from being in a bull market continuation yet, in my opinion, because you can see we are still under this descending trend line here from basically the all-time highs. We are below here, that is resistance, and that is not bullish. So every time it makes lower highs, you can see the result is it rolling over. Now, also what we have, as you can see, this blue box above is basically the resistance. So that is where support turned into now resistance, as you can see. So that is at the minimum around 89,000, which are these previous highs over here, but also the breakdown level over here, which is about 94,000. So actually, before I can get bullish again on the higher time frame, and before I want to say anything like we're going to new all-time highs, etc., we have to reclaim this 94,000 with a weekly close above it. If we get that, like in this scenario, then I think it's very likely we retest the highs and probably continue higher, maybe until the end of the year, maybe until October or November this year. That is completely a possibility. But until that happens, I'm treating this as still just a squeeze, manipulation, leverage hunting, whatever you want to call it, dead cat bounce. And we can go up to 88, 89,000. There's a lot of liquidity here based on the heat map. We can even go into 90, 91, 92. But until we flip 94 and get a weekly close above it, I'm not turning bullish yet. And I'm still expecting as the main scenario a potential failure here. And then, obviously, if we do get a new close below the 50-week moving average, that would confirm bear market territory, in my opinion. And from that point onwards, I would flip to full-on bearish, and that would mean potentially another 50% drop and maybe a 2 to 3 year bear market. But we'll take that when it comes. For now, we are above it, and that is how I'm seeing the Bitcoin chart at this point in time. So before I continue, just a quick little announcement here. As you may know, Blofin Exchange is my personal preferred exchange for trading crypto, futures, perpetuals, but also for spot. I think they're a great exchange. They've been around for the last 2 years or so, so they're relatively new, but I've met the CEO personally twice already, and they're very friendly, they're very cooperative in terms of what they want to offer. And as a result, obviously due to being new and I think just better and more flexible than a lot of these other exchanges, I get the opportunity to negotiate these kind of bonus campaigns and deals for my referrals. And that could be you or may already be you. So if you use the link in the description down below, you can create a free account on Blofin. Currently, I'm running a campaign with Blofin for the next 2 weeks, starting here on April 16th. That is up to $9,400 USDT Tether in cashback on trading volume. So you can see the graphic on the screen right now. What it means is that if you trade 100 million in volume during the promotion period, you can get 9,400 back. It gets dropped in your account and you are free to do whatever you want with it, trade with it, withdraw it, whatever. There's no conditions. You just have to hit the required volume. And obviously 100 million could be a lot depending how much you trade, but there's obviously cash backs on all sorts of tiers, whether you hit 1 million, 5 million, and so on and so forth. It's all displayed here on the graphic. Then point number 2 is what we're doing also aside from this, and I had to negotiate for this, is we're able to give away a new iPhone 16. So that has a value of 1,500 USDT, and that is going to one of my referrals. So someone who used the link in the description down below, it doesn't matter if that's in the past or whether you do it right now. You create a Blofin account, you make a deposit, you trade, and then you could be eligible for that. So that's also part of the giveaways that I do. So regardless, if you want a place to trade and you like trading crypto, use my link in the description below, create an account in Blofin. I'm going to be doing as many of these campaigns as possible, hopefully every 2 weeks, where we're doing a volume cashback or give away an iPhone or a MacBook or other stuff like that. And as long as you've signed up through my link, you will be eligible for that. So what I also want to share with you is the total crypto market cap, which is the market cap of Bitcoin combined with all the other altcoins. And this is the weekly chart. We have the 50-week moving average in blue. And you can see what is happening here now. It is currently exactly at 2.6 trillion, and it is sitting exactly here on the 50-week moving average. And in the same way that I just showed you on Bitcoin, this 50-week moving average is key because it was support for the bull market here in October 2023. As soon as the price crossed above it here at the beginning of 2023, it basically confirmed our new bull market and our new bull cycle. And you can see even here in August, September last year, it retested it, held its support, went for a massive run, but now we are in danger of losing this 50-week moving average and potentially confirming a new bear market. And you can see what happened here. So on that deviation here above, we went to new all-time highs here in November when Trump won the election. We swept these highs, but if you see this as a range, what happened now is we swept the highs and we deviated back below those highs, and we are now back within the range. And that could technically mean that the rules of this range mean the target could be these unswept lows. Unfortunately, that could be the case if we end up losing this. Now, what also ended up happening is we got a weekly close below this 50-week moving average 2 weeks ago. Now, last week, we rallied back up and we closed exactly at it. So it's very tricky. It's on the edge. If this can continue to pump and reclaim and get a proper weekly close above, maybe the disaster is averted. Maybe we don't have a bear market just yet. And then, of course, we still have the danger that now there is this fair value gap or inefficiency here and the range high. So we are not completely in the clear yet. Even if we go higher here, it could still retest this and then continue lower. Only if we reclaim here, I would say with the weekly close above, then maybe we take a shot at new all-time highs. Okay, but until that point, we could fail from here. A weekly close below would confirm a bear market territory, in my opinion. A weekly close above, maybe a little bit better, but we really need to close above the 3 trillion level for me to be bullish again and maybe consider the fact that we could have bull continuation until the end of the year. Until then, though, I'm leaning towards bearish, and that's either a breakdown pretty much now this week and close below it, or maybe another 2 or 3 weeks where things kind of bounce but fizzle out, reject, and then close back below. So that's how I'm seeing these markets right now. I will continue to update regularly, so subscribe to the channel for those updates. But I do want to say, at this point in time, I am leaning more towards the bearish side. We're very much on the edge here between the confirmation of being bearish or bullish, but it's not looking good, in my opinion. And until we get those reclaims, I'm going to lean towards either just continuing lower from this point, or maybe a little bit of a bounce higher for 2 or 3 weeks, reject, and then ultimately still break down. And ultimately getting below this 50-week moving average, as you can see in the previous cycle. And there was a little scam pump above it, right? Little deviation. It failed, it got back below, and we entered our bear market and still dropped easily, I think, 50% from here. Once we drop below it, you can see here 59% lower, and dropping from the point we lost it here in April 2022, we only got back to that same level 2 years later, right? So if we lose this and if we get a confirmed bear market, we could drop another 50% lower, 60% even, and it could take potentially another 2 years or more to get back to this level if these same bear markets repeat. So it's not looking too great. The nice thing is, though, if you are prepared for this and you can trade, you can make money shorting these markets. There's no reason to not make money in a 2-year bear market. Now, we know what happened in previous bear markets. A lot of people get wrecked because they continue to hold spot altcoins. They continue to hold, even Bitcoin drops, but Bitcoin less than altcoins. And they continue to dollar cost average and buy every dip and get completely wrecked as it keeps only dipping and going lower, and it takes 2 years. And most people will then sell at the point of maximum pain, like the end of 2022, when we have a major scare, massive fear, a major exchange collapsing like FTX in this case. That's the point of maximum fear, and people will sell their remaining crypto for 70, 80, 90% down and get out of the markets for a huge loss. That's obviously not what we want. What we want is to be able to make money. So even if we get a bear market, obviously the nice scenario would be this holds and we continue to rally up, we reclaim, and we shoot up to new all-time highs before the end of the year, and gives us all a chance to exit for nice profits. But that would be the hope, and what we are looking for is not hope, we are looking for a strategy. So if we get a bear market, we want to be able to short this and make money to the downside. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more updates.